Hi YouTube, it's Eli. I've been a vegan for probably, I'd say around 8 months. That feels accurate. I should probably know this. But anyways, I just figured that I should talk about it. Now, this was really a snap decision I made on my part. I watched a documentary on Netflix one day, and I just really couldn't do it. It was like preaching about veganism and all that stuff, and I didn't really need the documentary to tell me anymore. I just saw the things and videos and clips and stuff that they had shown, and I just didn't feel comfortable eating animal products anymore. Now, I know that there's a stigma with vegans or whatever, a stereotype of the sort, but I'm not really going to try and preach to you to be vegan. I'm just going to talk about my experience with it. Now, being vegan can either be extremely easy or extremely hard. It really all just depends on what your taste buds are feeling that day. If you don't like fruits and vegetables or certain types of grains, because that's going to be most of your diet right there, then I'm very sorry. Now, the reason why I'm vegan isn't really because of the health benefits. It's really more about the moral thing for me. I mean, I never really thought about, like eating animals and what it was. Now, there were definitely certain animals that I just could not eat. I really don't like eating venison or duck or things like that. I don't know why those two animals specifically, but that's always just been a problem for me. And on top of that, I mean, after seeing that documentary, it was just no way. I just couldn't do it because it did talk about the health benefits a lot, but it also showed like the absolute torture animals were going through and the terrifying things that were happening to them. But there's a lot of research I had to do when I decided to become vegan because it is a really big lifestyle change. I mainly researched about how to get protein with a vegan diet because, usually you'd get most of your proteins from meats and animals and that kind of thing. But I learned that you can just as well get proteins from eating plants and things like that via just combining them in a certain way or eating the right types of plants. There's what I learned from it is that all these different plants and nuts and seeds and things like that, they all have different amino acids. Now, eating a nut won't exactly give you the same type of protein that it will if you eat a steak, because a steak will give you essential proteins, the proteins that we use as energy, that kind of thing, the proteins that we need. But a nut can give you certain amino acids that once you combine certain amino acids can turn into essential proteins. Now you can say combine like nuts with grains, like whole wheat grains, and then that'll give you essential proteins and you can use that as energy, and boom, you don't need to eat meat for protein anymore. That just gives you all the nutrients you need. So being vegan and getting proteins through that way is really about being strategic in your meals. Or there are certain foods that are vegan and have essential proteins in them, like tofu. I eat a lot of tofu. It is a surprising portion of my diet now. But I'm also a vegan for the environmental reasons. Because of the amount of people that eat meat, there are so many cows because they need so many cows, so they breed so many cows because so many people buy the beef. The meat industry is seriously one of the largest industries, one of the meanest industries, because it's profitable and they can get what they want because they have money. And since there are so many cows and different animals, they need to take up so much land to create their factories and farming warehouses for all their livestock and killing machines. And it takes up a lot of space, and they have to kill a lot of plants and wildlife habitats. It's terrible. But possibly the biggest reason why I'm vegan, taking all these things into account, there's not much an average person can do. They can petition and protest and go to your local town halls and meetings and try to get laws in place and something like that. And, but at the end of the day, there's only so much that a civilian can do when eventually it gets up to the government officials, and then, they can just do whatever they want. But if you don't buy the products that's causing the problem, then they're not going to make the products, so there won't be any problem. So it just feels nice knowing that I'm at least doing something to help, because there's not really many ways I can help. So this feels like I'm able to do something. And to mark off this video of veganism, the rest of the week will be dedicated to Disgusting Food Week, where I talk about how different foods that you might not think are disgusting, or you definitely think are disgusting, and how they're made and things like that. And that will be starting tomorrow. And I will see you tomorrow.